Hi everyone, and welcome to your collective tarot love message. This is going to be a collective reading, therefore this means that it's not specifically intended for any one sign, okay? But as I always like to say, if you've clicked on this reading, there's obviously something here that has drawn you to this reading. There's a reason why you've been guided here and why you've been led here. There may be a message or several that is intended to reach you and that you're meant to hear, okay? In today's reading, we are going to focus on why the universe has removed a certain person from your life. So for those of you who did have someone take an exit from your life, whether recently or whether quite some time ago, then I guess this reading is more tailored to you in your situation, okay? Whether someone has taken an exit from your life temporarily, or sometimes the universe has a tendency to remove people from your life permanently, we want to go ahead and see what exactly is the reason why. Okay, so why has this person been removed from your life, and what was the purpose of them entering your life? There is also going to be an extended, and in the extended we'll just take a look and see, we'll obviously go into more depth and detail in the extended reading, and we'll take a look and see whether the universe is going to bring this person back, okay, or whether you'll have a chance to reconnect with this individual. And the extended is going to be made available, guys, via the extension link below. Also, as this is a general reading, for those of you interested in a personal tarot reading with myself, please feel free to reach out and inquire. My email address will be listed below. On that note, guys, let's go ahead and let's begin with the reading. So the universe does, has a tendency to remove people from your life for a reason, okay? There's always a reason. I know it's so cliche when people say things happen for a reason, but honestly, I believe that they do. Sometimes you find out why certain people are removed from your life, and sometimes you find out why soon after, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer, maybe like years, to find out exactly what the reason was. And sometimes, truth be told, you may never really know why. You may never really find out why at all. So hopefully the reading can, today's reading and today's messages can help you understand, or can help you at least, come into acceptance with why someone has left. I think for you, the most important thing you can do right now, the most important thing that you can do for yourself and for your situation is trust. Trust the process. Okay, for whatever reason, the universe has removed this person from your life, and whether or not they're going to bring this person back or not, you just have to trust in the universe, and you have to trust in the divine order of things, and you have to trust in the divine timing and the divine intervention. I know it's probably, it might be frustrating for some of you to hear, trust the process, trust that everything happens for a reason, but I think that's the best thing that you can do. Trust that, trust when new people enter your life, and trust when people exit your life, because this specific person that a lot of you have on your mind right now, and this person that you're thinking about, I feel like this person has has been a very special, I feel like they've been a very special connection. This has been a special connection, and this has been a very special person, because I feel like there's a lot of resonance with this person and their energy here. And I feel like for a lot of you, there's been a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings and a lot of depth to this connection. So you need to trust those feelings, okay? You need to trust your heart. You need to trust your instincts. So if your instincts are saying that, the two of you are going to cross paths again, or if your instincts are saying that, this was something very special, this was something very extraordinary, this wasn't, this was fated and this was destined, this wasn't just an accident. You need to trust your feelings. You need to trust what your heart is telling you, okay? And you need to follow through. If this person is supposed to stay in your life, they will, okay? So even if this is a disconnection, a discord, or a bit of a break that you're going through, it may just be temporary, is what the cards seeming to indicate, okay? If this person is supposed to leave from your life and not return, then this is exactly what's going to happen. And this is why trust is so important, okay? Sometimes sometimes we think we know what's best, and we think that, our plan and our timing and our order of things is best, but the universe has something bigger and something better planned for us, and we need to trust in that. We need to trust in that process and trust in the universe magic. I feel like you have to really be patient, and I'll tell you why. Because the connection between you and this person has not dissolved, okay? So either if you guys if you guys are emotionally disconnected, or whether you're physically disconnected, or whether you're disconnected here by, geography, that connection has not dissolved. Those feelings that you felt when you're with this person, and those feelings that they feel, when they were with you, that hasn't dissolved. That emotional thread that connected the two of you together still does, okay? There's still this emotional thread that connects the two of you together. And this is why I say that it's so important for a lot of you to trust your heart and trust your intuition, because your heart and your intuition is telling you that, this is a special person and this is a special connection. And even though the two of you may have had a tower moment, or even several, and even though this is someone who may have hurt you, there was no malice intentions, okay? There was no ill intentions towards you, okay? The people that are the closest to you, and the people that, we love the most, do have a tendency to hurt us. But there's no malice, okay? And that's important for you to know. Be patient, because I think that the connection is still blooming. The connection between you and the connection between this individual is still, it's still blooming, okay? And it will have a chance to bloom in the future. It's just that I think and again, it might be really hard for some of you to hear, but I think this separation and this connection is necessary. It's necessary for you. It's necessary for them. So it's necessary for your individual selves, but it's also necessary for this, the sake of this connection, the sake of this relationship. It's necessary. This break, this, separation is absolutely necessary to preserve this connection. Okay. Because I think what happened is some of you had this connection got up to a point where the two of you hung on some sort of coping mechanisms, okay? Maybe there was a lot of things that you weren't dealing with, or maybe you guys were dealing with things in an unhealthy manner, okay? And I can see that 7 of Wands, a lot of you were pretty resistant to change, okay? There were some things that needed to change in order for this connection to work. You might have needed to change yourself in the process, okay? And what I mean by that is improve yourself, right? If you didn't know patience, you had to learn patience. Or your person needed to change themselves, right? They may have needed to learn patience. They may have needed to improve themselves. Like, you may have needed to do some work on yourselves. Your person might have needed to do some work on themselves. But I can see that, change is scary for a lot of people, and I get that. And I can see that you or your person were pretty resistant to something here, whether it was change or whether it was like a new way of doing things. And what that meant is, in order for this connection to have moved forward, you had to move from out of your comfort zone. But not a lot of people want to do that, right? Because your comfort zone, although no growth and no change happens there, it's pretty comfortable. So I can see that there was this resistance to maybe change the way you are, whether it's your emotional behavior, but for the better, okay? So it's not like, changing the person that you needed to be. It's like improving yourself. It's like bringing back a healthier and happier version out of yourself, from yourself. And there was a lot of resistance. Because a lot of you, I think, were so scared. I think the reason why, or even if this is your individual that we're talking about, this may not have even been you, or maybe it was both of you, okay? So feel free to sort of, take the narrative as it fits yours. But I think someone was so scared to change, or even someone was so scared of risking something, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because there's such a fear in the energy here, because they were scared of losing everything that they had for something unknown, or for like unknown results, if you know what I mean. Like, if they changed, or if they decided to risk something, they were so scared to lose what they had with you, or you were so scared to lose everything that you had for the unknown, basically. And I think overall it got to a point where, even though you guys loved each other, or even though you care deeply for each other, I can see that there was something here that was making you fatigued. There was something here that was making you a little bit tired, and there was something here that did manage to somehow wedge a distance between you and this individual. And what happens is, when you're not living your truth, when you're not living according to your higher self, the universe is going to send you signs, okay? Now, you're not always going to understand these signs. You're not always going to pick up these signs. You're not always going to interpret those signs. But the universe will continually send you signs to put you back on the right path. And this is a sign. This is a huge sign. This is a sign that's come in the form of a tower, okay? This breakup, this separation, this disconnection is an absolutely colossal sign. The reason why some of you here is because you're learning to respond, okay? You're being receptive and you're responding to the signs, and that's why you're here listening to this message or to other messages, or you're trying to seek out the truth, because this is a good thing, okay? Because you're responding to the universe's signs. You're learning to interpret it. You're learning to read. You're learning to understand it. So, but when you don't pay attention, or when you don't want to, okay? Sometimes you don't pay attention just because you're lacking the focus. Other times you don't want to pay attention, and that's a difference. You will miss those signs. You will absolutely miss those signs. So there is absolutely a lesson from out of this breakup and out of this separation. Your lesson is not going to be the same as the next person listening to this. And their lesson is not going to be the same as the next person listening to them, right? To this. Your lesson is absolutely unique to you, and it's absolutely unique to your person, and it certainly is unique to your relationship and the connection that you had with this person. So regardless how you feel about this breakup and this separation, and for some of you, you feel fear, you feel anxiety, you feel unhappy, you feel tired, you feel sad, you're feeling blue about it. I can see that, I can see that there's, a lot of you are feeling resistant as well. Like, resistant is so strong in the energies here. The more resistance that you feel, the louder these signs are gonna get. And for some of you, the signs are pretty loud and they're pretty out there. When you were with this person, or, even just during this breakup and this separation, I think your emotions are sort of all over the place. So if you're going from happy to angry to feeling depressed to feeling happy again, there's a high chance that you're suffering within, okay? And it could be difficult. This could also be your person, by the way, okay? If your person had these mood swings or this irritability, or, if the both of you went from a connection that was happy to sad, to angry, to frustrating, to all sorts of emotions. If your emotions were all over the place when you were with this person, or during this connection, or even now as we speak, it's likely that you are unhappy and you might be hurting within, or your person is unhappy and you're hurting within. And when that happens, we have a tendency to hurt others. We don't want to, but because of the way we're feeling, you might not want to face the fact that you're feeling what you're feeling, okay? And as a result, you tend to make poorer decisions. You tend to make decisions that are not in alignment, and you're not living your truth. So if your emotions are all over the place, I think it's so important for you to take a step back. Okay, I think it's so important for you to take a step back and try to figure out what's triggering those emotions, because there is triggers behind some of those emotions as well. With the Tower and with this breakup and with this disconnection, what this tells you is that your old ways are crumbling. Okay, remember how I said this breakup could actually be the best thing that's ever happened to you, and I'll tell you why in a second. Remember that every time the Tower moment shows up, yes, it's ominous, yes, it's threatening, yes, it's dramatic, yes, it's a catastrophe, yes, it's scary, right? It is. But it's also a blessing in disguise, because what that tells you is that your old ways are crumbling, or your old ways need to crumble and need to fall apart. When your old ways are not serving you, and this is what's happened, someone here, perhaps even the both of you, you needed to work on yourself, okay? That's not because you guys were toxic for each other or you were not right for each other. This isn't what this reading is about. In fact, dare I say, you guys are perfect for each other. But you need to work on yourself. So in order to fulfill the destiny of this connection, in order to re-attract each other back into your lives, right? In order for the two of you to reconnect with each other, you absolutely have to allow for this Tower moment. And I know it feels uncomfortable, and it probably feels frustrating, and you probably feel angry and upset and all sorts of emotions, and they're absolutely valid, and it's okay for you to feel what you feel, but you have to understand that, you know, no matter how hard you're going to try right now, the pieces that you have on the floor are not going to fit, okay? You're going to find, what you're finding is happening now is a crumbling foundation. And if you're going to try hard to maintain this crumbling foundation, it's not going to work, okay? This sign has come in many forms. For some of you, this crumbling foundation of this tower has come in many forms or in different forms, right? For some of you, for instance, if you find that you're a drinker, or if you find that, you know, you're drinking a little bit too much, you might find that you're a little bit more sick or more unwell than usual. You know, if your food is unhealthy, you might start to notice that your body cannot handle certain foods, okay? If your communication, you know, is not effective, or if you don't communicate with intention, you might find a lot of misunderstandings. So your signs are going to come, your signs from the universe are going to come in many different ways. And I think you need to really, you know, learn to interpret and respond to the signs. The universe right now is telling you, the reason why you had this tower moment is the universe is telling you to address your situation. So whatever wasn't working in your connection, or whatever just wasn't working with your individual selves, this is a chance for you to address it. This is why, so this is why the tower moment is this blessing in disguise. And this is why you so have to be patient with the process, because the universe is allowing you a second chance. It's telling you, hey, you want a second chance with this person? I'll give you this second chance, but you need to work on yourself, because you can't go back to someone and expect, you know, there's a saying, right? You cannot expect to get different results if you keep doing the same thing again and again. I mean, that's complete lunacy. It doesn't make sense, right? So you can't go back to this person in the same energy in which the relationship broke off, or in which the relationship disconnected, okay? Basically, you cannot heal in the same environment that you know, got unwell in, right? So if you were to go back now, especially if those emotions are all over the place, if you've since healed and if you're doing well, then I guess I'm not talking, like, I guess I'm not addressing you. But if your emotions are all over the place, if you're still feeling anger and hurt, and especially if you're still feeling resistance to this disconnection or this separation, this is not a good energy for the two of you to try and realign in, okay? Because you know what's going to happen. Well, whatever happened the first time. So this is why it's so important for you to address whatever is no longer serving you, okay? And I'm not a psychic. I don't personally know what's no longer serving you, but you do. You are absolutely the expert on your relationship, okay? It's you. So, and this is where you're going to have to, this is where it gets a little bit uncomfortable, because you're going to have to be really raw and honest and truthful with yourself. And the hardest person to be honest with, I honestly believe, is yourself, right? So this is where you're going to have to confront it. This is where you're going to have to confront your truth, your ugly truth, right? The absolute raw truth. So, you know, what wasn't serving you? What traits, what habits, what behavior, emotional, physical, psychological did you have? You know, do you still have that is no longer serving you, or that isn't serving you positively? And how did it affect this relationship? Because the truth is, it takes two to tango. And the truth is, the both of you were in this relationship. And the both of you absolutely played a role in this breakup, in this disconnection, in this separation, okay? So, you know, it's not fair for your person to roll up the blame mat and put it at your doorstep, nor is it fair for you to do the same to them, because the both of you played an, you know, maybe it's not a 50-50, maybe it's like a 70-30, I don't know, but the both of you played a role in this separation, in this disconnection, and you absolutely have to own that. So the universe found that it's time for you to move away from this person, so to move away from something internal, from something external, so that you could move into something internal, if that makes sense. So something that, it was something internally, because your mirror, your inner world reflects your outer world. So if your outer world, if it's chaotic, and if it's, you know, if there's disorder, that's what's happening in your inner world. It's like a direct reflection of your inner world. So the universe here is removing someone from your life because they're not, or has removed this person from your life because they're not serving you positively right now, okay? Because this person has their own inner work to do. They've got their own shadow work to do, okay? And sometimes, and as do you, right? You've got some healing to do. You've got to heal some emotional wounds that fester. You've got to work on some patterns of behavior, whether they're emotional, whether they're physical, so that they can serve you better. They can serve you more positively. Maybe you have to go back and heal some trauma. Maybe you know, because I'm seeing that there's a lot of triggers. I'm seeing there's trigger points, emotional touch buttons that need working on, or patterns of behavior that were not positive and that did not serve this connection positively. So what happens is, when something is no longer working for you, sometimes those people, okay, those romantic energies, those friends or those family members, they're going to initiate the breakup. So if this person initiated the breakup, it's because the universe was working through them. If you're the one that initiated the breakup, okay, the universe is working through you. So it's absolutely important for you to sort of accept that, right? Some of you might be getting a little bit lonely without this person, okay? But in the end, I think what's happening is you're learning to learn more about yourself. You're learning to learn more about yourself and about the role that you played in the breakup, and how maybe you would do things differently, okay? Maybe with this person or the next person. So there's absolutely, I feel like, you know, this person had your best interest and still has your best interest. I think it's important for you to know that. But I think right now they were not helping you move forward, and you weren't helping them move forward. So this is why this breakup and this separation is absolutely important. I think a lot of you intuitively, okay, a lot of you are really strongly intuiting that this person is going to come back. Okay, so the universe is going to recognize, and I'll tell you when this person is going to come back. I'll even give you an exact time frame when this person is going to come back. When the universe recognizes that you are or have done your work, your inner work, your shadow work. Same for this person, okay? When the universe recognizes that, you know, your person has done the work, has done the shadow work. Until then, no reconnection. Or even if you will try to reconnect before you are ready, guess what's going to happen? You're going to go back to this tower moment. It's possible there will be a reconnection, a separation or a disconnection. And it's possible it might even be permanent this time. So, you know, if the universe has removed this person from your life, it's so important that you try and understand the true effects that the person had on your well-being, okay? The positive, but also the negative. And it's so important that you do the same here as well. The other thing is, if you feel like there was something to do with timing, okay, because I think for a lot of you, timing was absolutely crucial to this connection. So for example, if every time there was something if timing was a bit of an issue in this connection. So what do I mean by that? For example, your timing might have been a little bit off. If you had dates with this individual, and if you find yourself like running late, or if they were running late, even just by a few minutes, or if somehow, even if you left early, but you caught like every red light on the way there, or you missed the train to see this person, or you just, every time you wanted to watch a film, or you wanted to, you know, catch the TV series that you both like, but maybe your internet dropped out, or maybe you guys just missed the show for whatever reason. So if your timing was off in the connection, and for a lot of you, there was a lot of this happening, okay? So you need to try and go back, you know, and think back to those times. That's saying that your timing has been a little bit off with this person and with this connection. And what that means is something was off within you and something was off within this person. So, and I think what that has to do with it is the fact that this person maybe wasn't the healthiest, happiest version for themselves, nor were they for you, and nor were you, okay? So when the timing is off, you'll notice timing being a little bit wonky in the relationship, timing being a little bit wonky in the connection. And it might be something very small, but those things will add up, if that makes sense. And when that happens, that usually happens when you're trying to force something that isn't quite fitting or isn't making sense. When you're trying to take like unnecessary action, you're trying to force it. You're being very forceful to try and make things happen. Okay, you can't force things. There needs to be this organic flow to everything. So I think that, you know, this connection, this separation that's happened between the both of you is so that, you know, your world needed to crumble so that you can come back together again and you can live the life and you can have that relationship you've always wanted. Because the truth is, the Two of Cups indicates there is something very special and something very profound about this person's energy and the way they resonate with yours, okay? It could even be a soulmate here. There's just something so... I know it sounds cliche, and I know the word soulmate gets thrown around so many times, but there is something very soulful about this connection. There is something so... Like, for example, I do see that this person is someone who aligns with you. But yes, you know, the things that we spoke about, the resistance, the timing, the self, the inner work, the shadow work, all of that. No one is perfect. And I do think that, you know, your person and both yourself needed to do the work so that you can build, you know, so that you can come back together. You can be healthier, happier, you know, better versions of yourself for the sake of yourselves, for each other, and for this connection. So you can live the life that you want, and you can have that relationship you've always wanted with the person that you've always wanted, right? It's so important that you read the signs, and so important that you take the hints from the universe. Because if you're going to try and force a reconnection, if you're going to try and force anything when it's not meant to happen, guess what? It's just not going to go your way, okay? The universe is trying to help you live your best life. And sometimes that means, it does mean that the universe is going to intervene. It's going to remove certain people from your life. It's going to push you outside of your comfort zone. It's going to make you feel all sorts of different emotions. It's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to make you frustrated. But that's where the growth is happening. And essentially, you are growing through what you're going through, and so is your person, okay? I do see a reconnection very strongly in the cards. I do see that there is a very strong healing quality to this reading, and to this person, and to this connection. And I do think, you know, this person, just as there's a reason why they've left your life, there's a reason why they've entered your life in the first place. And there's a reason why this person is coming back. And yes, I do feel very strongly for you, as indicated in the cards, that this person is coming back. But you just got to lower your resistance. You have to lower your resistance. So if your guard is still up and if you're resisting, those energies are only going to persist. So if you want to reattract this person into your life sooner than later, drop your resistance, okay? Drop your resistance. Take a step back, try and understand, try and figure out. The answers might not necessarily be in the reading. The answers might be within you. So what you got to do is you got to dig deep. Okay, you got to sit with it for as long as those answers come to you. I'll tell you what helps, just sitting in silence. Just sitting in silence, and the answers are going to come to you deep from within your intuition. Listen to them, okay? Yeah, as I was saying, there is a reason why this person entered your life. Because this is your soulmate. This is the person that is destined for you. This is the person that the universe intended for you. This is the person that you're meant to, you know, end up with. This is your person. And you will be much happier. You will be a much happier individual, and you will be so much happier with this person if you allow for the universe to do its thing, if you allow for the universe to bring in those changes, okay? There is absolutely a reconnection. The two of you are going to come back together again. You're going to cross paths. The Six of Wands indicates a more positive direction. So things are moving in a more positive direction. And this is why this disconnection, this separation is so important. For some of you, it doesn't mean that it's a permanent one. Yes, only if you continue with the resistance. So if you do disconnect, and if you separate, or if you are disconnected and if you're separated, and if you don't learn the lessons, and if you don't learn to read the signs, and if you don't try and understand you know, why it happened, and if you don't do the inner work, the shadow work, and especially if your person doesn't do the same, then there will be no reconnection, okay? There will be no alignment, there will be no reconnection. Even if you try to force fit a reconnection, it won't happen. Sadly, you might be happy for a couple of weeks, even a couple of days, even a couple of months, or even a couple of years, but there ultimately will be another tower moment, and a huge one at that. So that's why it's so important that you know, to prevent any further upcoming tower moments, because for some of you, I think you've had enough, you know, I think enough of the tower moments, right? Especially when it comes to relationships. And to prevent that from happening again, and to live a more healthier, happier life with your person, your special person, it's so important that you do the work now, and that they do the work now, and you do the healing. And healing is messy, and healing is ugly, and healing is going to take time, but it's so important that you get in there. And only then will then the alignment flow. Only then will you be able to reattract each other and reconnect with each other, because you're both coming from this place of alignment, right? Okay, I'm going to stop it at that. In part 2, we're going to go ahead and take a look and see when exactly you're going to be reconnecting. So we'll see if we can get some time frames. We'll see, you know, how communication might be moving forward, when you might expect communication, or, you know, more importantly, that reconnection. So follow me to part 2 of the reading via the extension link below. I just want to thank you guys for your time, your energy, your attention. It is greatly appreciated. If you haven't already, please do show your support to the channel by subscribing to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. It does help the channel to grow, and growth is always a good thing. And also don't forget to share, like, or even dislike. Hey, it's all engagement. And comment down below. Thank you guys so much. Bye for now.